The night the storm swallowed the village of Umunato, fate brought an unexpected visitor to the doorstep of the wealthy Nwokorie family. Rain beat violently on the rooftops as Madam Amaka Nwokorie rose from bed, guided by the faint cry rising from outside the gate. At first she thought it was the wind, until the cry sharpened into the unmistakable wail of a baby. She grabbed her wrapper and hurried out. There, under the dim lantern glow, lay a basket soaked with rainwater. Inside was a child, small, shivering, wrapped in an old cloth with no name, no note, no clue. The guard trembled. "Madam, who will drop a baby like this?" Amaka lifted the child, her heart tightening. She and her husband had prayed for years for a child of their own. None had come. Yet here, in the middle of a storm, destiny had delivered one. She held the baby to her chest. "Whether the heavens sent you or the earth placed you here, you are mine now." That was how Kamsi came into the world, nameless, abandoned, and yet chosen. Years passed. The Nwokorie mansion was a palace of marble floors, golden curtains, and chandeliers that looked like stars trapped in glass. Kamsi grew up wearing fine clothes, eating the best meals, sleeping on soft beds. But elegance came with its wounds. Other children whispered, "Don't you know he's not their real child?" They picked him from the gutter. His real parents didn't want him. Kamsi never spoke back. The words hurt, but he learned to swallow them like bitter medicine. Only one person truly understood him, Mama Ebel, the old housekeeper. She always said, "My child, you were not abandoned. You were redirected." Amaka loved him fiercely, but the mansion had its shadows. Chief Nwokorie, his adoptive father, was distant. Busy. Strict. He gave commands, not affection. Still, Kamsi tried his best to please him. At age 10, he brought home the best grades in his class. Chief only nodded. "That is expected." At age 12, he won a regional essay competition. Chief simply said, "Good." It was never enough. On a warm afternoon when Kamsi was 14, he overheard a conversation that cracked his heart open. Chief Nwokorie's voice thundered from the study, "I told you from the beginning. That boy, he is not ours. You cannot force me to love him as if I fathered him." Silence. Then Madam Amaka's quiet sob. Kamsi froze. The words were like knives. "Not ours. Not mine. Not enough." He ran to his room and locked the door. He didn't cry loudly, just silent tears that soaked his pillow and dreams. From that day, a small wound formed inside him. The wound of an unwanted child living in a home filled with everything except certainty. Determined to earn love, Kamsi pushed himself harder. He became the top student in the whole state. He joined debates, volunteered at charity events, tutored younger students. Teachers admired him. Friends adored him. Even strangers were drawn to his warm smile and gentle spirit. But inside, he questioned, "If I become perfect, will I finally belong?" Madam Amaka tried. She hugged him often, cooked his favorite meals, prayed for him. But a mother's affection could not erase his growing fear. One evening, she placed a hand on his shoulder. "My son, love is not earned. It is given. And I have given you mine in full." Kamsi smiled, but the ache didn't leave. When Kamsi turned 17, the unexpected happened. A woman appeared at the mansion gate. Thin, with clothes torn, eyes filled with years of regret. "My name is Adiz," she whispered. "I am his mother." The guards were confused. Chief Nwokorie was furious. "She wants money," he barked. "Send her away." But Madam Amaka intervened. "No. Let the boy speak to her." Kamsi trembled as he approached the gate. The woman's voice shook. "My child, I never wanted to leave you. I was young, alone, and desperate. I thought a rich family would give you what I could not." Kamsi studied her face, tired, hopeful, broken. A part of him wanted to scream, "Why now? Why did you leave me? Why come after all this time?" Another part wanted to run into her arms. Instead, he asked softly, "What do you want from me?" "Nothing," she whispered. "Just forgiveness." Tears rolled down her cheeks. Kamsi didn't speak. He only turned and walked back inside, with a heart heavier than before. The household was shaken. Chief Nwokorie forbade any contact with Adizda. She will ruin everything, he said. But Madam Amaka believed otherwise. She gave birth to him. She deserves a chance to explain. Kamsi stood between two worlds, one of wealth and one of truth. He began meeting Adiz secretly. She told him stories of his birth, her struggles, and the father he never met. For the first time, Kamsi felt a strange peace. Not joy, not certainty, but understanding. Still, he loved Madam Amaka deeply. She was the woman who stayed. The woman who fed him, clothed him, fought for him, prayed for him. His heart stretched painfully between them. During a heated argument, Chief shouted, "That boy is a mistake. If you want him, fine. But he will never inherit this family." The word struck Kamsi like lightning. He packed his bag and left the mansion that night. Rain poured, just like the night he arrived. He went to Adiz's small house, a room barely big enough for two. "I can't stay there anymore," he whispered. "I don't belong." Adiz held him close. For the first time in years, Kamsi cried freely. Kamsi worked part-time jobs and continued his education. He studied harder than ever, determined to build a future that belonged to him, without begging for approval. He applied for a scholarship abroad. Thousands applied. Only 20 were chosen. Kamsi was number 1. On the day of his departure, he was shocked to see Madam Amaka standing at the airport, tears streaming down her cheeks. "My son, forgive me. I couldn't stop him. But I never stopped loving you." Kamsi hugged her tightly, the mother of his heart. "I will come back," he whispered. Then he stepped onto the plane, ready to start a new chapter. 5 years later, Kamsi returned, not as the abandoned child from long ago, but as a successful, confident young man with honors, awards, and a heart that had healed. He built a beautiful house for Adiz. He started a scholarship fund for abandoned children. He founded a company that grew rapidly. One evening, he visited the Nwokorie mansion. Chief Nwokorie, now older and slower, stood at the door. Regret sat heavily in his eyes. "Kamsi," he whispered, "I was wrong." Kamsi nodded. "I forgave you long ago." Chief broke into tears, the first time Kamsi had ever seen the man cry. Madam Amaka embraced him tightly. "You came back," she wept. "I promised I would," Kamsi said. In the end, Kamsi did not have one family, he had two. One gave him life. One gave him love. Both shaped him. At his company's grand opening, he told the crowd, "I was abandoned, so I could be found. I was broken, so I could be rebuilt. I am a child of two worlds, and I carry love from both." The audience rose in applause. Adiz cried. Madam Amaka cried. Even Chief wiped his eyes. Kamsi smiled, truly smiled, for the first time. He was no longer the abandoned baby in the rain. He was a man forged by sorrow, strengthened by love, and destined for greatness.